Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Please forgive me for late come because I have another class is going on. Bhakti Vaibhava. I just came in. I totally forgot. So and so then we so happy to welcome His Grace Madhava Murari Prabhu with us, and I'm so honored. She is my one of my batchmate, which is we have done our Bhakti Vaibhava together in Mayapur, Mayapur Institute. Oh, Prabhu has asked me. So Prabhu was born in 15 June 1982 in Novosibirsk, Russia, practicing Krishna consciousness since February 2006. Yes, first initiated in 2008 and the second 2018. He graduated in Sotwa State Academy of Law. So I'm so sorry if I'm pronounced wrong. Mean degree of law. So in Talent State University 2024 with a degree in a religious study. The topic of master thesis defending Alta State University in the two line of authority in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He also was a pujari in the temple of Jagannath Balidha Subhatra, Moscow Vedic Culture
Recording in
Center
progress.
at Botanical Garden, Metro Station 2008 to 2010. He coordinating the publication of the magazine Sankirtan of the New Age, News No God 2010 to 2014. He was engaged in Vaishnava education in Russia, Federation and a Golden Ring area. Ogada, I'm so sorry, bro. It's very difficult. The Russians to spell that.
Not a problem. Don't worry.
2014 to 2022. He was a translator and the servant is Holiness Bhakti Vishwambar Madhava Swami Maharaj. So, if you most of you know, Maharaj was Bhakti Vishwambar Madhava Maharaj was a writer of the Tulasi, the Datri and the Tulasi. You have made many books. So, among the book that I like is Tulasi from Maharaj, and also a translator for His Holiness Bhakti Anugraha Janardana Swami from 2019 to 2020, which is Maharaj was glorious, was a pujari in Krishna Balaram Mandir. As a Filipinos, I think most of you know Bhakti Anugraha Janardana Swami Maharaj. Now he live in Bishik Kakizastan. Oh, that means you might be know Ramanujam.
Yes,
And then
we are colleagues in our
oh.
educational department.
Oh, okay. Conducted spiritual classes, education program, translate Vaishnava literatures, preach in Kazakhstan, Russia, India, and Germany. Now you have a new place who's called Malaysia now. Thank you so much, Prabhu. I thought
Hare
to give a holiday
Krishna.
to him.
Hare
Then
Krishna,
which
nice to
is,
see you.
and he agreed.
So you are going back to your Bhakti Vaibhava class now, right?
Yeah, I'm going to giving there. So we welcome His Grace Madhava Murari Prabhu by chant one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And thank you so much, His Grace Madhava Murari Prabhu. Please excuse me. I think Dr. Ku is here. Dr. Ku is here, and will be there. And this is very interesting topic, dear devotees, which is going to enlighten all of you, especially because after normally when we have completed our Bhakti Sastri, they're always complaining, you don't know how to give class, your class is not sent of Prabhupada. So where Madhava Murari Prabhu is here to make us to be class and our preaching be a center of Srila Prabhupada. So thank you so much, Madhava Murari Prabhu, to push you for the last. No, thank you. So the floor is yours, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, have a nice education there on Bhakti Vaibhava course. Hare Krishna devotees, nice to see all of you. We're going to start our
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. We're
Dandavat
going
Pranam.
we're going to start our meeting from pronouncing these invocation prayers or Mangalaracharana prayers. Om Agyanti Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manoh Pishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Свая Рупа Кадама Ям Дадати Свападантикам. Вандехам Шри Гуру Шри Утапада Камалам Шри Гурун Вайшнавам Шча. Шри Рупам Сакраджатам Сахагана Рагунатан Витам Там Садживам. Садвейтам Савадгутам Париджана Сахитам Кришна Чайтанья Девам. Шри Радха Кришна Падан Сахагана Лалита Шри Вишакхан Витам Шча. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagat Pate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshvari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So these prayers are there in Bhagavad Gita as it is book, and we use these Mangalacharana prayers just before giving any class or any preaching, any lesson, just in order to invite everything auspicious in this process of discussing spiritual subject matters. And we're not going to read the whole translation of these Mangalacharana prayers, but anyway, it is quite important to read the first one, the translation of the first one, which is the translation of the first prayer goes like this: I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So the process is such that we are offering our respect to these personalities like spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, Sri Guru Parampara, Srimati Radharani, Sri Krishna, and so on and so on. And in such way we get their benedictions, their blessings, because there are two ways to speak out. The first way to speak is when we are praying to them and we are asking them to make us their instrument in their hands. And another way to speak is when we are thinking that I'm intelligent enough to speak, I don't have to rely on anyone. So this kind of speech is based on ahankar, on false ego, on this understanding that I have my capacities and these capacities are my capacities. These abilities are my abilities. And in such way, this mood of humility is not practiced. So we're trying to practice this mood of humility, which is demonstrated by all our acharyas, by Srila Prabhupada, by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who is the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So it is the main point to put some endeavors to become good instrument in the hands of our spiritual masters, in the hands of Srila Prabhupada, in the hands of Sri Sri Radha Krishna. So today we are going to discuss how to give classes on spiritual subject matters. And we have some slides to discuss, to discuss. So we will start from this quote from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 7.37. It is from purport, and Mataji Sri Gopika Devi Dasi. Can you read this quote aloud? Is it possible? Can you do it? Switch on your mic. Microphone. Okay.
Understanding Srila Prabhupada's vision. An acharya is an ideal teacher who knows the purport of the revealed scriptures, behaves exactly according to their injunctions, and teaches his students to adopt these principles also. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila, chapter 7, verse 37 purport.
Thank you very much. So we're trying to understand Srila Prabhupada's vision today, and in order to understand his vision, we should start from the definition, from the very definition of Acharya. Acharya means he knows spiritual subject matters, he behaves accordingly, and he can teach his students. So if we will read, or likely many of us already have read this Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, so we can get to know from this book how Srila Prabhupada was acting, was behaving, what he was doing. And here on the screen, you can see this book written by Ravindra Svarupa Prabhu, which is called Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, the GBC foundational document. We're going to quote something from this book also, and I will ask Mataji, who is in charge of our batch, to share the soft copy of this book with all of you. It is also important to get this PDF file in your WhatsApp chat, because unfortunately this website founderacharya.com is infected by virus. So you cannot download this PDF file now. I don't know why the administrator of their website doesn't do anything, or maybe he will be doing anything. But my antivirus here reports that there is a virus, so it doesn't allow me even to download this PDF file from official website. But anyway, this file I have, and I will share it with you. Anyway, we are reading Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, and from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita we can get this knowledge how Srila Prabhupada was doing everything. And it is the meditation of ISKCON devotee to meditate on Srila Prabhupada Lila, how he was behaving. Because if there is no such meditation, if we don't read any books about Srila Prabhupada, then it will be quite difficult to become good instrument in his hands. It is not sufficient just to read books written by Srila Prabhupada. It is also important to read books about Srila Prabhupada, about his life, about his example, about his preaching. So everything is based on this desire, which was initially manifested by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Srila Prabhupada also was expressing this desire that Krishna consciousness should be preached globally all around the world. So Mataji Vimalangi Vishakha, would you like to read this quote? Vimalangi Vishakha.
Desire to spread Krishna consciousness globally. The Lord, in his form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wanted the cult of devotional service to the Lord to be preached all over the world, in every nook and corner, and therefore a pure devotee's duty is to discharge this order as far as possible. Every devotee should be very enthusiastic, not only in performing his daily rituals of devotional service, but in trying to preach the cult peacefully by following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya. Success or failure has no meaning for a pure devotee because he is a soldier in the field. Preaching the cult of devotional service is something like declaring war against materialistic life.
Okay, thank you very much, Mataji. So here it is written that this order given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to preach devotional service, this order is taken seriously by a pure devotee. So you can say, but I am not a pure devotee. It is not about me. So what is the answer? The answer is that when we are speaking about pure devotee, there are two categories of pure devotees. The first one category, it is those who are really pure, those whose hearts are 100% pure. Such people, such persons, personalities, whose pictures, whose photos you can see on the altar. Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, etc., etc., and our spiritual masters only. But also there is the second category of pure devotees, and they are also pure devotees. Pure devotee is one who is a sincere follower of a pure devotee. So if we accept Srila Prabhupada's orders, if we accept his teachings, his instructions, of course, it is not for our self-esteem, it is not for our pride to consider ourselves to be pure devotees. Let others consider us to be pure devotees if they want so, if they want. But anyway, even Srila Prabhupada, when he was praying to Lord Krishna, when he was just beginning this ISKCON mission, this preaching mission in United States of America, he was praying to Supreme Lord in his Markine Bhagavata Dharma prayers that he was saying to Krishna, I'm completely unqualified. So it means that even if it is written on the page, on the pages of the books, that Srila Prabhupada is pure devotee, he doesn't include this idea that I'm a pure devotee. He doesn't include this in his self-conception. So the same way, following Srila Prabhupada's footsteps, we can meditate on these attempts to become a nice instrument in his hands, but it is not the essence. Who is pure devotee, who is not pure devotee? Let others consider us to be pure devotees if they want so, but the main point is to become instrument in Krishna's hands, to become instrument in Srila Prabhupada's hands. So it is not our contemplation to think, am I pure or not? Am I Vaishnava or am I demon? Or am I demonic person? Or am I Vaishnava, etc.? Our main contemplation is, am I able or am I trying to become instrument in hands of spiritual master, in hands of Srila Prabhupada and so on. Also, in this quote, it is mentioned that success or failure has no meaning for a pure devotee. And when Srila Prabhupada came to United States of America, he also displayed the same mood in his Markine Bhagavata Dharma prayers, when he was praying, somehow or other, O Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now, my Lord, it is up to you to make me a success or failure, as you like. So it is the mood of one who is trying to be instrument in the hands of Sri Guru Parampara. Materialistic people, they are very much concerned about success or failure, and they usually think that I am the cause of my failure or I am cause of my success. But this process of preaching is spiritual process. We are trying to become instrument in Krishna's hands. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we fail. But anyway, our endeavors on this path are always appreciated by Supreme Lord and always appreciated by Spiritual Master. We're going to the next quote. And here, in this book written by Ravindra Swarupa Prabhu, it is said that ISKCON is Srila Prabhupada's body. It is important point, very interesting point. And I'm going to ask Aradhya Anuradha Mataji to read this quote. If you can.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
As Srila Prabhupada is the soul of ISKCON, so ISKCON is his body. And because the incorporation is a spiritual one, the body is not different from the embodied. Animated by the indwelling spirit of its founder Acharya, ISKCON is the embodiment in this world of the spiritual potency of Lord Chaitanya, Ravindra Swarupadasa.
It is. This point is also very important to understand, because you see it is written here. ISKCON is Srila Prabhupada's body, and Srila Prabhupada is the soul of ISKCON, so we can analyze it on our own example. There is body, my body, and there is a soul which is inside, and actually I am this soul. And just because soul is inside the body, because of that, this perishable body can speak with you. In such way, this material body becomes an instrument of that spiritual soul. It becomes an instrument. So the same way, there is Srila Prabhupada and his vision how Krishna consciousness should be preached all around the world. His vision, and there is ISKCON, which works like an instrument of his will, and like instrument of the will of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the will of Krishna, the will of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. They want this Krishna consciousness to be spread all over the world. And ISKCON is Srila Prabhupada's body. It means that ISKCON is meant to, how to say, to make this dream true, to execute this order, to execute this idea, this desire, Srila Prabhupada's desire. ISKCON is Srila Prabhupada's body, in that sense that body is like an instrument for the soul. Soul has some desires. Of course, because we are conditioned souls, we have this conditioned mind, conditioned intelligence. Because of that, our desires are also conditioned, because the only one pure desire of pure spiritual soul is just to serve Krishna and nothing else. But because this soul is conditioned, because of that, the soul has different desires. And then this material body becomes an instrument to fulfill these desires, different desires. Some desires are related to Krishna. Some desires are not related to Krishna. And when we are speaking about ISKCON, that ISKCON is Srila Prabhupada's body, it means that ISKCON devotees, resources of ISKCON, and so on and so on, ideally it should be, all this should be engaged in devotional service 100%. Of course, we have different members, different followers in our international society, and some devotees are really dedicated souls, some are just beginners, some are just Krishna's friends. It is also normal. But anyway, it is the task and headache of ISKCON leaders, of GBCs, to think how to organize everything in such way that everything that there is here in ISKCON, all resources, human resources, everything should be engaged in fulfilling this mission as much as possible. If we are speaking about our today's subject matter, how to give classes, so the same way we should synchronize ourselves with Srila Prabhupada's vision, with Srila Prabhupada's desires, what he wanted. And of course, it is a long story. It takes years. It takes decades. It is not just that we can just discuss it just during this class or just some few sessions. It is a lifelong journey. During the whole our lifetime, we can meditate on Srila Prabhupada's desires. We can study. We can get more and more information and understanding and realizations about his personality, and it will help us to understand how to preach better. But anyway, we should start from something. And here in this book, written by Ravindra Swarupa Prabhu, some points are mentioned here about Srila Prabhupada's unique contribution, which Srila Prabhupada gave to the whole world. And let's read this slide. And we are going to ask to do it. Who is going to read? Urmila Bhagavathi. Bhagavathi, right? Bhagavathi. Urmila Bhagavathi.
Hare Krishna Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Good evening.
Prabhupada unique contributes. There will be many conscious When the Srila Prabhupada position is founder Acharya is realized among them, generation and generation will be enabled to receive the special mercy offered by Srila Prabhupada. The path back to Godhead he opened will become every increasingly traveled. By taking a full shelter of Srila Prabhupada as Shiksha Guru, his Vani manifested all teachers in ISKCON on the various level and of advancement will be able to authentically convey the Srila Prabhupada's real teaching, thus giving the proper guidance, shelter and protections to all. Srila Prabhupada activity presence will secure the unity of the interjet of ISKCON.
Uh-huh.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
And the second slide.
This also, I'll read, Prabhu.
Yes, please.
Yes, Prabhu. ISKCON teachings will remain the constants over the space and time. Srila Prabhupada realized the knowledge enduring him with the specific potencies to spread Krishna consciousness will not only be the preserved but also developed. His books will remain central to us for their context and insight and direction that await a futures of development to be realized. Srila Prabhupada's eyes will always remain the lens through which all future generations see our predecessors acharyas.
Okay, predecessors acharyas.
Nice.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. So here, Ravindra Swarupa Prabhu is saying that we really should put Srila Prabhupada in the center of our life. We should meditate on his activities, on his teachings, and so on. And point number 2, it is written here that by taking full shelter of Srila Prabhupada, people will be able to authentically convey Srila Prabhupada's real teaching. Authentically means as it is, means without any distortion, authentically. But for that we have to read Srila Prabhupada's books regularly. And these books should become, point number 6, should become and should remain central for us, for they contain insights and directions that await future development to be realized. Means that in one letter Srila Prabhupada he wrote that you just read my books every day, twice a day, morning time, evening time, and all your questions will be solved. Any question you have, you just read these books and answers are there. It is exactly what instruction he gave to one of his disciples in one letter. And so much Srila Prabhupada gave in his books and in his letters that actually all these instructions are, point number 6, are awaiting future development to be realized. Means in future we will realize more. Everything is given already, but time will be going and devotees will be understanding from these books more and more. And now we are going to the technical details. How to prepare class, how to prepare lecture. First of all, we have to choose the topic and we have to prepare. But Srila Prabhupada, usually he was not preparing. He was always ready to give the class. And Satsvarupa Das Goswami, who is Srila Prabhupada's disciple, he was personally witnessing this. He personally was seeing that Srila Prabhupada was always ready to give the classes. So Mataji, Lileshwara Shyama, Prabhuji, sorry, Prabhuji, Lileshwara Shyama Prabhu. Can you read this quote, this slide?
Choose topic, prepare for the class. Srila Prabhupada's lectures were spontaneous. One night, after a lecture in Hyderabad, when I had managed to pay attention, I told Prabhupada afterwards that I had appreciated his talk. I said, your lecture had so much symmetry to it. Prabhupada replied, did it? It's not my speaking. It's Krishna who is speaking. Prabhupada's talk were spontaneous, but that did not mean they were not well-formed. They were spontaneously well-formed. If I have to give a lecture before devotees, I will think and worry about it. I will have to choose a topic and verse to speak on. But Prabhupada spoke without any preparation, except for his constant Krishna consciousness, and very rarely did he choose any topic beforehand, except the topics that were raised by the verse and purport of the Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Satsvarupa Das Goswami, he has the series of books which is called Prabhupada Meditations. This book contains 4 volumes. Here in this on this slide, we have this quote from this book where Satsvarupa Das Goswami he told to all the readers of this book that Srila Prabhupada's talks were spontaneous. It is because of the flow of Krishna consciousness. When one is totally in Krishna consciousness, when one is in the flow of this Krishna consciousness, then sometimes there is no need to prepare because everything is clear. When one is in Krishna consciousness, everything is clear for him. Sambandha, so-called Sambandha, means who am I, who is Krishna, what is this material world about, how everything is interrelated. Everything is clear for this person, so he can just sit and talk. But if to speak about us, it is much more better to prepare for the classes. Now we're going to tell you how to do it. First of all, we have this website vanipedia.org, and we have here the link which is called Essential Subjects. So the compilers of this encyclopedia of Vedic knowledge, they made the research on Srila Prabhupada's teachings. So and they compiled the list of 900 essential subject matters that are here in Srila Prabhupada's books. And this link, which you can see on the screen, will be given to you by batch in charge, because I already gave her the Microsoft Word file with these links, with different links that I suggest you to study. So you can use this list of essential subject matters, which is here. But usually, what is the subject matter? Usually, it is quite clear from the verse itself. We have purport, and usually it is more or less clear what is the subject matter. And also, it is nice to give the class in the context of the whole chapter. It means we are not going to analyze the only one verse, but we should know what is the whole chapter about, how these things are interrelated. And for that, systematical study of Srila Prabhupada's books is very important. Like Muralidhar Shyam Prabhuji, now he went to take this Bhakti Vaibhava class. And it is also about systematical studying of Srimad Bhagavatam books. When we go through systematical study of books, we know what subject matters are where, on which page, and how we can cover and describe and explain different subject matters. Anyway, this link will be given to you and you can use it. We have this letter written to one Srila Prabhupada's disciple. And here, very simple process how to prepare for the classes is given. And I'm going to ask Mangala Rukmini Mataji to read this quote.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Memorization.
So if you are strong enough to preach Krishna consciousness there, that is very good. That as long as you chant your 16 rounds and follow the 4 regulative principles, then you will get the strength. The process is that you should memorize the purports of my books and then speak them in your own words. Do not adulterate or change anything. Then you will be perfect preacher. Hare Krishna. Guru.
Hare Krishna. So you see, this success in preaching is based on 2 things. First of all, we should follow spiritual standards because it will give us purity and it will give us clear understanding what we are speaking about. Because parrot also can speak. Parrot also can speak, but parrot is not able to understand what he is speaking about. But if we are practicing, not just reading what is written in these books, but practicing, it will give us some purity and some spiritual strength. And also the process of memorization is important. We can just memorize the purports from Srila Prabhupada's books, and there is or there are a few Srila Prabhupada's disciples who are sannyasis here, sannyasis now, and their classes are really according to this technology. They just memorize and they just speak as it is according to the book. And and we can see that this process, just to repeat everything after His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, this process is very powerful. In one Russian city, one devotee decided to give the class, but he had no time to prepare. So what he did, he had the headphones, and he had this player, and in this player he was listening to Srila Prabhupada's class, and one headphone was here in his ear, and he was sitting on Vyasasana, and it was looking like he is giving his own class, but actually he was just repeating after Srila Prabhupada what Srila Prabhupada was saying on this recorded class. And of course, this devotee, he had to be silent sometimes because he was waiting when Srila Prabhupada will tell the next part of his class. And he was silent, then he was telling something, then again he was silent, and so on and so on. So after this class, everyone was impressed. And everyone was saying like, this devotee is very deep devotee, very realized devotee. And we could really see that he is really realized when he was silent, because uh, we could feel that this silence is not just silence. This silence also has some deep meaning. So this process, when we just memorize some parts from Srila Prabhupada's books or some parts from Srila Prabhupada's classes, and we repeat after him, it is very effective, and it also helps us to cleanse our mind and our heart. Cheta Darpana Marjanam. It is described in Shri Shri Shikshashtaka. So the process is very simple. It means basically that almost everyone can become a preacher. I am saying almost because some people they have memory, some people they have so memory, some people they have no memory at all. For the last category of people it will be more difficult, but if we have memory, and who is the source of memory? Krishna is the source of memory. He is saying about this in Bhagavad Gita, verse 15.15. Sarvasya chaham hridi sani vishto, matak smritir gyanam apochanam cha. Which means that I am situated in everyone's heart, and from me, matach smritim, from me remembrance is coming. I'm the source of remembrance, and also I'm the source of matach smritir gyanam apochanam cha. I'm the source of remembrance, of knowledge, and of forgetfulness. Everything comes from Krishna. So we can pray to Krishna. If uh, we have some difficulties to memorize different things, we can pray to Krishna, we can ask Krishna, please help me to memorize, and likely it will help. Also, in letter to Revatinandana, Srila Prabhupada, he wrote here, for lecturing, any one of our members can speak. Simply one has to memorize the purports and then speak it in one's own language. But at the same time, we have another letter written.
Dear Prabhu.
Yeah? Hare Krishna. But at the same time, we have another quote from letter written to Satsvarupa Maharaj, where Srila Prabhupada is writing, yes, it is good to be prepared with a well thought lecture in advance. However, we must be able to preach effectively at a moment's notice or under any conditions or circumstances also. So how we can do it? How we can be able to preach at a moment notice? It means that there should be daily practice to memorize what Srila Prabhupada wrote in his books. Every day something should be read, and every day something should be memorized. And in such way, you will be having some files on your HDD, on your pen drive. You will be having this information, you will be having these realizations, and in such way, if you have to give a talk at a moment's notice, then you can just compile whatever is relevant to this situation, to this moment. You can compile if you already memorize something. That's why Srila Prabhupada is saying that one should read his books daily. Because otherwise, if there is no such practice, then head is empty, heart is empty, someone is asking us to tell something, we don't know, please ask another person, he is more senior, and other things. So we are trying to refrain from preaching, but it is not good, because if we to refrain from preaching means to refrain from the chance to become an instrument in Srila Prabhupada's hands. If we become instrument, then we can get mercy. If we refrain, we get less mercy. So we are going to the next slide. Shrutidhara, in this purport to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada explains that formerly, before Kali Yuga, there were such people who were able to memorize everything. Where is it? As soon as a student heard any of the Vedic wisdom from his master, he would remember it forever, just once. Just once. It means Shruti Dhara. Shruti means to listen, Dhara means to carry, to hold. Means this ability to grasp knowledge just after hearing this knowledge just once. Such ability is good, but this is ability of people who were living before Kali Yuga, and were living in Kali Yuga. But anyway, Srila Prabhupada, he is writing here in this purport that to become a Shrutidhara, one who can remember simply by hearing, is a great achievement for a student. Some people, they have good memory, and by Krishna's mercy, and we can pray to Supreme Lord to help us to memorize. It depends on purity of the heart. Usually, those whose karma is not good, those who karma is sinful, these people, their mental capacities are lesser, are not so good. Also, very important point regarding how to give classes. We have to memorize, we have to practice. And then if we remember something, then we can speak. We can speak if our class is scheduled and we have time to prepare, or we can speak just on the spot when we are asked, occasionally. And when we're speaking, there is one more point which is also important to follow. And let's read this slide. And I'm going to ask Ramachandra Raghukula Prabhuji to read this slide.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Avoiding unsupported personal interpretations. Our process of knowledge is very simple. We take it from the authority. We don't speculate. Speculation will not help us to come to the real knowledge. Just like when we are in difficulty, in legal implications, we go to some authority, the lawyer. When we are deceased, we go to a physician, the authority. There is no use speculation. Suppose I am in difficulty in some legal implications, I simply speculate. I shall be free in this way and that way. That will not help. We have to go to the lawyer who knows things, and he gives us instructions that you do like this, then you will be free. Similarly, when we are diseased, if I speculate at home that my disease will be cured in this way and that way, no, that is useless. You go to an authorized physician and he will give you a nice prescription and you will be cured. That is the process of knowledge.
Process of knowledge. Thank you very much. Sound was chopping
Srila
sometimes.
Prabhupada is divine grace.
Uh-huh.
Srila Sachitananda Bhakti Vinoda will stay like
Hari Hari. Sound is chopping, but anyway, I hope you understood the essence, right? So, knowledge, spiritual knowledge, we get it from Parampara. You can see Sri Guru Parampara on the screen. What is the position of a preacher? The position of a preacher, Srila Prabhupada was explaining this. His position is like a position of a postman. Postman, he is about to deliver the letters. He is not about to edit what is written in the letters. He is just about to deliver the letter. So the same way, just get knowledge from Srila Prabhupada, from his books, from our authorities, from our spiritual masters, and then just in the same condition like you have got it, enriched with your realizations, with your inspiration, with relevant examples, just deliver to the next person, to the audience. It works like this. That's why it is important to avoid unsupported personal interpretations. Unsupported means it is, we also have this word combination given by Srila Prabhupada, mind concoction. Mind concoction. And if a speaker, he has firm faith in his mind that whatever my mind produces, it is always good. And in this case, when he will be speaking, there is a chance that he will be mixing bona fide knowledge with his ideas. There is a chance. That's why it is important for a preacher, it is important for a speaker, for those who are giving education or classes. Each and every statement, we're giving this statement, we're giving that statement, and you check every statement. Is this statement supported by Srila Prabhupada or not? From where I have got it? From such and such book, or from such and such class, or it is just my own idea, or maybe I have heard it from someone and I don't understand the person from whom I have heard it. If if I even don't remember from whom I have heard it, better not to quote it. It is normal for Kali Yuga to have bad memory, but it is not a good idea to quote if we don't know or if we don't remember the source of that knowledge. Hare Krishna. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Audible.
We can hear.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay,
Yes, Prabhu.
very nice. Very nice. We're going further. We're going to the next slide. So Srila Prabhupada, he is saying that we should be grounded in his instructions, in his teachings. It is the way to avoid our own interpretations, our own concoctions. This idea to concoct something and to mix it with bona fide knowledge, it comes from false ego, it comes from ahankar. It comes from idea that I'm intelligent enough or I'm over intelligent, like Srila Prabhupada he is saying in this quote, which you can see on the screen and which will be read, I hope so, will be read by Shubhadatri Mataji. Shubhadatri Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. It is difficult when you manufacture something, but if you simply present whatever you have heard from your spiritual master, it is very easy. If you want to become over intelligent, to present something, to interpret something,
No.
whatever over you have heard from your spiritual master, you can make some further addition, alteration, then you'll spoil whole thing. Simply present as it is. Remain always a servant of your spiritual master and present the thing as you have heard. Don't try to become over intelligent. That will spoil.
It is important point. Disciple should consider himself to be full number one before his spiritual master. If he thinks himself to be over intelligent, everything will be spoiled. So our role in this process is very simple. We have heard knowledge, we have got these teachings from spiritual master. Then we practice these teachings, and then we speak about this. If we are not practicing, then these words will have no power. Like we know this famous story which Srila Prabhupada was explaining on his classes. This story about Mahatma Gandhi, about one woman and her child who was addicted to sugar, right? Have you heard this story about that lady who came to Mahatma Gandhi about to share about this problem? Yeah, a well-known story. She came to Mahatma Gandhi and she told that my child is addicted to sugar, to sweets. Please tell my child not to take sweets. And then Mahatma Gandhi, he told, you please come back after 3 days. And after 3 days, they came back, they came again. And Mahatma Gandhi, he told, that don't take sweets. And then this child told, okay, I will follow your order. And when this woman asked Mahatma Gandhi why we had to wait for 3 days, Mahatma Gandhi answered that I myself was taking sweets, so I had to refrain, I had to avoid to take these sweets for 3 days before telling your son that he should not take sweets. So it is Acharya principle. If someone is smoking, he cannot give classes that it is harmful to smoke because his words will have no power. So the same way, process is very simple. We read these instructions, we memorize these instructions, we practice these instructions, and then we just deliver these instructions without any change, just as it was given, and means as it was given. And of course, this knowledge should be supported by our own experience, our own example. Otherwise, it doesn't work. We're going to the next slide. And on the next slide, Srila Prabhupada, he is saying in these two books, Raja Vidya, the King of Knowledge, and the second book, Civilization and Transcendence, he is saying that it is important to study his books scrutinizingly. Scrutinizingly means when we're trying to enter in all the details, when we're really trying to understand what the author was trying to tell us here on the pages of these books, and we will ask Malar Kodi to read these two quotes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Who endeavors to study Prabhupada's books? If we do not accept Krishna as authority and take his words as they are, we cannot derive any benefit from Bhagavad Gita. It is not dogmatic, it is a fact. If we study scrutinizingly what Krishna says, we will find that it is right. Raja Vidya, the king of knowledge. 5. That is proof of the greatness of Krishna. This knowledge, who can give such knowledge? That is the proof that is God. Krishna has all opulence in full, including knowledge. Other than here is in Krishna's world, where in such knowledge throughout the whole world. Every line is sublime knowledge. If you study Bhagavad Gita scrutinizingly, you will understand that Krishna is the Supreme Lord.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So it is one of the goals that we are trying to achieve by reading Srila Prabhupada's books, to understand that Krishna is Supreme Lord. Of course, we already understand it, but this understanding could be, we can make this understanding deeper. We can understand it more and more. And because Krishna is unlimited, so we also can develop this understanding of Krishna unlimitedly. This process is this process has no end. Has no end. It has beginning, but it has no end. Also, it is important, some more tips. It is important to narrate Srila Prabhupada's pastimes, and when we're speaking about different subject matters, it is also good to mention some relevant story from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita or from Harishauri Prabhu's Transcendental Diary. If we know something relevant, we can link it together. But again, in order to link it together, we have to memorize different things from Srila Prabhupada's books and from books written about Srila Prabhupada's life. Also, we can show the relevance of Vedic knowledge to modern times, and we can prove the applicability of teachings today, and we can give the examples from current issues. You can ask how to do it. You can ask how to do it. And the answer is you can listen to different classes given by your preachers, your authorities, and likely they give some examples when they link spiritual knowledge with some particular situations that take place in Malaysia or in India or whatever. Because some people, they say that this Vedic knowledge is outdated. This Vedic knowledge was given many years ago. Now it is outdated. Some people, they say like this. So we have to defeat them. We have to prove that it is not so. And a good preacher is one who is able to do it. Also, we started our talk today from Mangala Charanam prayers. It is beneficial to start lectures from Mangala Charanam prayers. And here in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is explained why. And we will ask Elan Govan to read this quote.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Importance of invocation, Mangala Charanam, before the class. In the beginning of this narration, simply by remembering the spiritual master, the devotees of the Lord and the personality of Godhead, I have invoked their benedictions. Such remembrance destroys all difficulties and very easily enables one to fulfill his own desires. The invocation involves three processes: defining the objective, offering benediction, and offering obeisances. These verses therefore offer auspicious invocations and describe the supreme truth. Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami,
Hare
CCRD
Krishna.
1.9. Hare Krishna.
As you probably remember, if you have heard, if you have read Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, maybe you remember that this book starts from prayers, where Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami he is asking Supreme Lord and he is asking different devotees to help him to describe Chaitanya Lila. So it is important, if we want to be instrument in Krishna's hands, we should pray. Because to be Krishna's instrument, it is not the it is not the easy business. It is not something where we can rely on our own capacities, on our own abilities. We should pray for their mercy. Everything is based, basically in Bhakti Yoga, everything is based on devotee's mercy, on Supreme Lord's mercy, and on our endeavors also. We put endeavors, but at the same time, we should not be too much concerned about success or failure, understanding that success comes from Krishna and failure also comes from Krishna. And sometimes we fail, sometimes we succeed. It is normal, it is life. What is the most important is just to go on and to preach. Anyway, today we are not so much nice instrument in Krishna's hand, but tomorrow we can become better instrument. It works like this. In Nectar of Instruction, verse number 3, Srila Rupa Goswami, he says, Utsaha nishchaya daryat. He is mentioning the qualities that are important for spiritual advancement. Utsaha means enthusiasm, Nishchaya means determination, and Daryat means tolerance, means patience. So it is important for spiritual life that today maybe we are not so much perfect. It means anyway enthusiasm and determination should be there, and Daryat, tolerance also should be there. We should tolerate ourselves, tolerate our imperfections with hope, with understanding that in future we will become better. And because you see, if we become Krishna's instrument, then Krishna is satisfied, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is satisfied, Nityananda Prabhu satisfied, Srila Prabhupada is satisfied, spiritual master is satisfied. Life is perfect. What else do we need? That's why we should try our best to become better and better instruments in Krishna's hands. Also, we should mention about Srila Prabhupada's style of preaching. His style of preaching is so-called bold preaching, direct preaching. And we will read few quotes, but again, this should be explained because otherwise we can misunderstand. So first let's read these quotes and then I will tell something else about this. And we will ask Kamini Veloudhan to read this quote, to read this slide.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna
Bold
Mataji.
preaching. The fact is that I'm the only one in India who is openly criticizing not only demigods worship and impersonalism, but everything that falls short of complete surrender to Krishna. My Guru Maharaj never compromised in his preaching, nor will I, nor should any of my students. We are firmly convinced that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and all other are his part and parcel servants. This we must declare boldly to the whole world, that
They should not foolishly dream of world peace unless they are prepared to surrender fully to Krishna as Supreme Lord. Letter to Giriraja, Bombay, 3rd January 1972. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So you see, both preaching means that we are not trying to compromise with our teachings, or we are not trying to tell our audience what they expect from us. Because some politicians, for example, they are successful because they know in advance what their audience wants to hear from them. So they are just telling whatever is expected. And in such way they become popular. But we are not politicians. Chinakya Pandit, he is saying, don't trust politicians. Don't trust politicians. But we should be on the side of absolute truth. And it means this philosophy can be pleasing for some people and can be not so much pleasing to other category of people. Those people who are not so much pleased with Vaishnava philosophy are usually people who are very much inclined to sense enjoyment, to materialistic conception of life, to impersonal conception of life, and many other things. But anyway, people are different, but absolute truth is one. And we should not change anything just in order to, how to say, to flatter people. It is important. Otherwise, one fails to be a bona fide chain in Sri Guru Parampara. Also, there is one story, there is one case when one leader of one spiritual organization, or I would say yogic organization, he sent a letter to Srila Prabhupada and he was inviting Srila Prabhupada to take part in one conference. And the subject matter of this conference will be how to achieve the peace in the whole world. And the idea of this conference was that different people from many spiritual organizations or so-called spiritual organizations will be gathering together, and they will be giving their own solutions how to achieve this peace in the whole world. And Srila Prabhupada, he uh, refused to take part in this conference, and he told to the secretary of this leader of that spiritual organization, when this secretary came to Srila Prabhupada personally to remind him about this letter and to invite him to this conference, he told that there will be no peace in the world until people will accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. And you can tell your leader, and you go and you tell your leader that there is no other way. uh, Sometimes people are pleased, sometimes people are displeased. That's why in Bhagavad Gita it is said that there is austerity of the tongue. Austerity of the tongue, or I would say austerity of the speech, is that we should try to present this absolute truth in palatable manner, in sweet manner, in such way, like people will be accepting this. Uh, it means that we should be gentle. It means that we should not tell people that you are stupid people, you don't understand what is the meaning of life. We should be gentle, we should be soft hearted. But if to speak about the content of our about our message itself, it should not be changed anyway. We can change the form, how we present it to the people, but we cannot change the essence, the teachings itself. That's why in this letter to Mataji Malati, which Srila Prabhupada wrote when he was in Los Angeles, he wrote here in this letter that I am very much encouraged to learn that you are bold enough to challenge any non-devotee as you did with that impersonalist yoga student. That should be the temperament of all our preachers. We should not be aggressive, but we should not tolerate any sort of nonsense. So you can see that it is Srila Prabhupada's spirit. It is also Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's spirit. They don't tolerate any nonsense. But at the same time, the instruction is that we should not be aggressive. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada, he was really bold. He was really determined to preach. And sometimes some people could consider this preaching to be aggressive. But it was not aggressive. When this so-called aggression is mixed or compiled, mixed with compassion, which Srila Prabhupada has to each and every conditioned soul in this material world. When it goes together, aggression or expansion. Expansion means what? You have your own ideas in your mind, and and my idea is kick out these ideas from your head, from your mind, and to put something which will give you, which will benefit you, to put something on that place. If it is done with compassion, then it works. When Srila Prabhupada uses such words to describe materialistic people, such words like dogs, cats, camels, asses, and so on, but anyway, he does it with compassion to these people, then it works. And even we have cases when Srila Prabhupada was speaking with so-called VIPs, very important people, and he was saying very strong words, and these words were happily accepted by these people. But we cannot imitate. We cannot imitate Srila Prabhupada. He was telling to his disciples that I'm an old man. I can speak like this, because usually people they expect that if person is an old person, usually they are always unsatisfied. They are complaining about everything, so they will forgive me. But you are young people, and you will not be forgiven if you will be just trying to act in the same way. So we should be gentle, we should not be aggressive, but at the same time, um, we should not compromise. How to preach in such way? The question raises how to preach in such way. The answer is that it takes time, and it requires experience. We can um, we can observe how our senior devotees preach, how our spiritual masters preach, especially in cases where someone is challenging them, in cases when they have to give message directly, when someone is trying to argue, and how they behave. And just by observing this, we can learn a lot. Preaching is based on compassion, and we are going to ask someone to read this very important, very nice quote, and it will be Raja Kumari. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, preaching is based on compassion. By studying all the Vedas, one should come to understand transcendental position of Lord Sri Krishna. One who assimilated the essence of the Vedas can preach the
truth.
The truth is compassionate to conditioned souls who are suffering threefold miseries of this conditional world due to the
due to their not being Krishna conscious. Is everything visible or not?
It's on my right hand side. I cannot see.
You cannot see. I can make font bigger if you wish. Do you like to make it bigger? One moment.
If bigger is even, I cannot see. It must be smaller.
It must be smaller. One moment. Must be smaller. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's try to continue.
A Brahmana should take pity, is it? Pity on people and
Pity.
preach people and preach Krishna consciousness in order to
elevate them.
To elaborate them. Sri Krishna himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, personally descends into this universe from the
values of spiritual life.
kingdom
From the spiritual kingdom.
To teach conditioned souls about the value of spiritual life. He tries to induce them to surrender.
To surrender unto him.
Similarly, the Brahmanas do the same thing. After
assimilating.
After assimilating the Vedic instruction, they assist the Supreme Lord to endeavor to deliver conditioned souls. The Brahmanas are very dear to the Supreme Lord due to their high Sattva-guna qualities, and they also engage in welfare activities for all conditioned souls in the material world. Hare Krishna. Sorry, Prabhu.
That's okay. That's okay. Endeavors are important, and the result depends on Krishna, as we discussed today. So it is normal. That's okay. Don't worry. So here it is written that Shri Krishna has compassion, and Brahmanas also they have compassion, and they are acting like instruments in Krishna's hands. So it is also important because these Bhakti Shastri course are for those who are aspiring to get second initiation, and it is important to understand that compassion is expected from Brahmanas as Brahminical quality, and we can meditate on this. And if we don't feel this compassion in our hearts, it is also normal because we are on the path of purification. And if we want to understand what does it mean to be compassionate to others, just meditate on your spiritual master and on Srila Prabhupada and on his activities, and it will help you to understand what compassion means. Compassion in action. Compassion in action means preaching. Compassion, it is not just emotion. Well, it is emotion also, but it is not just emotion. It is also activity. It is preaching activity. And this preaching should be supported by practical application. One cannot inspire others to give up smoking if he himself smokes. That's why it is important not only inspire other people to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but also to chant our own rounds, our own japa. And we are going to ask Samayanti, right? Samayanti, right? Your name. How to pronounce your name?
Damayanti.
Okay. Would you like to read this quote?
Yes, Guru. A practical application of knowledge is really needed. So if we practice this chanting of Hare Krishna name, then there is chance of chanting Hare Krishna at the time of death. That is the examination. In Bengali, there's a proverb, Bhajan kara sadhana kara murte janale hoy. That is, how are you becoming Krishna conscious? That will be tested at your time of death. That is wanted. We practice throughout the whole life, Hare Krishna, then there is a good chance chanting Hare Krishna, because at the time of death, everything becomes disordered. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, if one is serious about his spiritual life, he can inspire others to be serious. If one is humble, he can inspire others to also to express and to practice this humility. If one is tolerant, then it is possible for him to inspire others to be tolerant, and so on and so on. It means that these words given by Mahatma Gandhi just became a change that you want to see in the world around you. These words are applicable in our case also, in the case of practicing Krishna consciousness. And everything will be tested when this life will be finished. Everything will be tested. So let's try to prepare for this exam. Srila Prabhupada is saying that we should stick to our philosophy. It is the motto of any preacher. There are many philosophers, there are many philosophies, and philosophies can be very attractive. But preacher is one who has this spiritual chastity. Spiritual chastity means that we're not running from one spiritual organization to another spiritual organization. We just follow whatever our founder Acharya gave us. And we're going to ask Shwetha Muralidhar to read this quote.
Hare Krishna Prabhu,
Hare,
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Stick to our philosophy. No, you cannot expect that the whole world will become Krishna conscious. That is not possible. You keep your standard. We shall stick to our own philosophy. That is required because we know all their philosophy are defective. That is not perfect. So why shall I be misled by their philosophy? We shall stick to our own principle, Krishna philosophy. That's all. Everyone should stick to the right philosophy. That is human sense. Srila Prabhupada's morning walk, May 29, 1974, Rome. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So if one sticks to Vaishnava philosophy, it is natural for him to avoid different mind concoctions when he is speaking about Krishna consciousness. So how everything is interrelated, our consciousness and what we are doing externally, what is internally, and what is externally. To become a person who doesn't speculate during the preaching, for that it is required to stick to Vaishnava philosophy and to make Srila Prabhupada's books the instruction for our life, for our lifetime. Now we're going to finish our presentation, and I will just repeat whatever we discussed today. First of all, we're trying to serve Krishna's and Srila Prabhupada's desire to spread Krishna consciousness widely without considerations of success or failure. We started from this point. It is the desire on which preaching activity is based, our desire to preach, because if there is no desire, Srila Prabhupada told that Krishna consciousness practice is based on desire to serve, on desire to chant holy names, on desire to take prasadam. There is no problem with desire to take prasadam, but if to speak about other desires, there can be some difficulties, and we can maintain this desire to serve Krishna and Srila Prabhupada by associating with other preachers. It is important to have sangha when, for example, pujaris, they have association between themselves and they inspire each other to serve deities better, or when book distributors, they have sangha and they inspire each other. So the same way, if preachers have some sangha, or if someone of you not just preaching by himself but also has sangha with other preachers, and you have some interactions and you get some inspiration from each other, then it works nicely. Srila Prabhupada gave unique contribution to the whole world. He gave mercy, he gave shelter, he gave teachings, he gave spiritual vision. We should choose proper topic for the class. and we should try to find and memorize whatever is relevant from Srila Prabhupada's books. Class should be grounded on Prabhupada's teachings without any unsupported personal interpretations. Prabhupada's books should be studied on regular basis. One should give practical application of the teachings in Srila Prabhupada Lila and show applicability of teachings today. Class should be started from Mangala Charanam in order to get blessings of Sri Guru Parampara. Preaching should be bold but without aggression and based on compassion. We should stick to Vaishnava philosophy and practice this philosophy in our own lives. So it is summary for today's presentation. We have 9 points, and if you were taking some notes, it is good. If not, then you can watch the recording again, and you can implement it in your life, and in such way your lecturing will be improving and improving. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And now, if you have any questions, please ask your questions, and I will be trying to answer these questions.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I have
Hare Krishna.
I didn't properly. For progress in spiritual life, we require 3 things. One is enthusiasm, determination, and tolerance. So the Sanskrit word which you use for enthusiasm is utsaha. For determination and tolerance, what are the words, Prabhu? Can you please tell me?
For utsaha, nishchaya, dharyat. Nishchaya means determination, and dharyat means tolerance. Did you already have nectar of instruction in your Bhakti Shastri course?
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm just asking. Did you have it or not?
We have not started with it, Prabhu. We will be going for.
You have just started.
Yeah.
Okay. So this book is included in Bhakti Shastri course, Nectar of Instruction, verse number 3. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Some more
Thank you for
questions? Some more questions? Thoughts? Prema Zoom, please. Please ask your
Hare
question.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, I would like to know if the preaching is actually for children or teenagers on Bhagavad Gita verses. So, do we still give sometimes don't know how to give the direct explanation from Srila Prabhupada or Bhagavad Gita directly because they will not be able to absorb as much as adults. So how do we do that? How do we approach that? And secondly is in Bhagavad Gita 3.26 is also mentioned, Lord Krishna has mentioned that do not disturb the faith of those who are highly ignorant. So how do we see the preaching that this person we give up on them for the moment according to what Lord Krishna says? How do we make the difference? Thank you,
Okay.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Regarding your first question, I can recommend you to order on Amazon these books written by Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. Likely you have heard this name, Gauranga Darshan Das, who wrote these Bhagavata Subhadhini, Chaitanya Subhadhini books. So he also has some books like stories from Bhagavatam, stories from Gita, and I suppose that if you will be using these books, it will be helpful. And yes, I agree with you that usually children, they have their own limitation of understanding, but anyway, something they will understand. And if to speak about this Bhakti Shastri course, where we learn Bhagavad Gita and other books, usually people, they take this course from the age of 16 or 18. There is some rule. It is not that a child can take Bhakti Shastri course. Yeah. And please remind me the second question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu is
Hare
from
Krishna.
Bhagavad Gita 3.26 when Lord Krishna says do not disturb those who do not have faith
Okay.
or highly ignorant, not to disturb them.
Okay.
So how do we actually approach them? And it's happened that how do we differentiate? Is this person ready to hear our preaching or not?
Okay. I'm just trying to find where it is in my where these books in my on my mobile. Anyway, uh, first of all, we should try to understand if this person is serious or not. The symptom number one, someone is asking us the questions, and you can feel, likely you can feel. In this case, you can rely on your own feelings and emotions, because usually people, they are able to feel when we are asked, when someone is asking us the question. In some cases, it is what? What's going on? Hare Krishna, Haribo. Mataji, what what it was? What it was? Okay, anyway, usually we can feel, we can understand that this person is asking me and he or she is sincere. We can feel it. Or he or she is asking me, but he or she just trying to challenge me. We can feel this. Usually we can feel. And if one is challenging, then it means that, well, first of all, we're not obliged. We're not obliged to give this knowledge to everyone. Especially if Krishna told in Bhagavad Gita that there are some limitations, there are some rules. We're not obliged. So if one is challenging, it doesn't mean that we obviously have to answer anything. We can say, you go and take this book and read yourself, and you yourself read this book. And or we can say, you ask someone else, I am busy now, or whatever. You can invent something. You can. But if someone is sincere, then then we should be able to understand what are his limitations, because again, you told that children, they have limitations, and they any person has his own or her own limitations. So we can say some basic things about our movement, about our practice. We're not going to explain Rasa Lila dance to everyone, for example, especially because we ourselves don't have proper understanding of this very transcendental subject matter. It depends. It requires experience to understand to what extent we can speak about our philosophy and about our culture. It requires experience. For that, we have to associate with senior preachers who can share this experience with us and who can engage us in these preaching activities in such way that we will get some experience, some knowledge, some skills. Yeah. The main point is this person sincere or he is just challenging? If he is challenging, we don't have to open our hearts and to share some confidential realizations with those who are challenging. Those who are challenging, just take prasadam and be happy. Those who are not challenging, those who are sincere, also take prasadam and be happy and listen something about Krishna. It depends. Some more questions.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Some more thoughts, some more questions. Ramachandra Raghukula Prabhuji. Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Can you hear me, Prabhu? Am I audible? Just now
Audible,
when I was reading, you said.
audible.
Okay, my question is, I'm sure you would have come across during your preaching someone from the audience asking questions based on unauthorized articles or scripts or books. How do you politely kind of deviate from answering and telling them that it is not within our means to be answering on some other article which is not authorized?
Well, very simple statements. We can use such statements or verbal formulas like "it is not so" or "our philosophy is different" or I don't know, or "these people who wrote it, they are wrong," or "these people, they don't know anything about what they are writing about," and so on. In some cases, again,
such an answer
yeah.
may offend them. You know, when we tell them that
these
they
formulas
have no authority.
No, if we are speaking, if we are just saying that our philosophy is different, it is not offensive. We're just saying that our philosophy is different. We're saying that it is so. There are differences. There are different religious traditions, and there are some differences also, philosophical differences between different religious traditions. There is no offense. There are two ways. There are two ways. There is spiritual guidance. It is for those who are ready to accept the position of disciple or of a follower, ISKCON follower. There is guidance, and there is enlightenment. It is just for those who are asking questions. It is so, and it is what is this about, and so on and so on. We're just giving information that they are asking, who is Krishna? We're saying Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. We're saying this according to Srila Prabhupada's books. It is not from the position that I'm your guru, you're my disciple. I'm not expecting that this person who approached me, he will be accepting my authority. But anyway, because in Srila Prabhupada's books it is written that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, then from the position that he asked this information, this knowledge from me. So I'm just giving this knowledge, I'm answering on the question. And of course, if someone is trying to blame ISKCON, that there are different ways how they blame, that philosophy is not authoritative, or this movement is for lazy people, for those who are trying to avoid real life, and so on and so on. And so, in these cases, one should have some self-confidence. One should be confident that this path is authorized, and there should be some good arguments to explain, some good arguments, facts that it is not so. Like, for example, they say that your movement, the ISKCON movement, is useless. If you will ask this question to any responsible ISKCON devotee, for example, someone who is responsible for Food for Life, he will tell you, he will respond that no, our movement is not useless. We feed poor people. We distribute such and such amount of food every day or every week, and other things that are usually appreciated by common people, just by common people. We are not expecting that I will tell to the common person that we are about pure devotion. We came here to give you pure devotion. We understand that usually people, they don't appreciate this idea of pure devotion, but something that they can appreciate, we can mention. We should just have some information about movement, about books, about that Srila Prabhupada is accepted by scientific people as a good Sanskrit scholar, and these purports are authoritative even according to scientific point of view. Again, it is again about memorization. We should just memorize some amount of knowledge and amount of information and know how to defeat this or that point. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you for good question. Okay, devotees, do you have any other questions? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Okay, looks like we were going to stop here. Thank you very much for your kind attention. It was my privilege to serve all of you. And it was also mercy given by Muralidhar Shyam, who invited me to speak with all of you. And I'm also grateful to him and to all this ISKCON educational institution. And I wish you all the best in this Bhakti Shastri course. Please study nicely and become good preachers. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha, kripa sindubhya eva cha, patitanam pavanebhyo, vaishnavebhyo, namo namaha.
Namo Namaha.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu. Thank you,
Krishna.
Dhandawads,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Prabhu, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Dhanawad, Pranam.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you so
Prabhu.
much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.